Welcome back to WIS News Primetime. Now, late last year, we introduced you to Kayla Stambaugh. This wife and mom has been living with the autoimmune disease lupus for nearly 2 decades now, and she continues to fight. Today is World Lupus Day, but Kayla doesn't limit her advocacy to just one day out of the year. In fact, she's just one of the many voices in South Carolina and nationwide looking to increase visibility. Here to tell us more about their efforts are Kayla Stambaugh, Hetlina Johnson, and joining us virtually, we have Sarah Bentley. Thank you guys so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having us.
Now, Kayla, I got to know you personally back in, I believe it was October now.
Yeah.
And I was so inspired by your story. For anybody who may have missed the story or didn't get a chance to see it, can you kind of just tell us a bit about yourself?
Yeah. So I was diagnosed in 2006. It's been a long road. I've been battling this for a very long time. I've had every single symptom you can think of. I have Raynaud's, I have pleurisy, I have a lot of joint pain, a lot of fatigue, and now I am battling with this lupus nephritis that I need a kidney, and I have a 5% chance of finding that person, and it's been really hard. Lupus can be intense. Every day I struggle, but I keep it going. I have 2 little kids that need me.
Yeah, and I know one thing that really stuck with me when we talked for the first time is that on the surface you look so fine. You're fighting an invisible battle.
I am.
I think that's something people don't really
know
or think about.
No, a lot of us actually fight this invisible battle. And I think it's hard to kind of explain it to people without putting a burden on anyone else.
Exactly.
And so we have to that's why we're here. We have to keep fighting for them, and not just me, but all the patients out there, caregivers, friends, just spreading the awareness and educating people more about it. Because it's not a lot of people know about it, so yeah.
And now I know this isn't, obviously there needs to be more awareness, but you have people like Hetlina here.
Yes. Yeah.
I want to know how did you two first come into contact, and also how did you find your way into kind of advocating for this cause, because it's something that not a lot of people really necessarily think about. So maybe tell us about how you found your way here.
Well, I was diagnosed with lupus in high school, right in my senior year, 93. And I'm here now to be able to talk about it. And that's when I really started, when I noticed a lot of my high school friends and folks that were around me, my family even, were not familiar with lupus and its symptoms, like you said earlier. Bringing some visibility to an invisible illness was something that I wanted to do. I met Kayla as I was continuing to do advocacy. She actually reached out to me. I do a lot of advocacy and grassroots, I like to say, efforts as it relates to lupus awareness, lupus events here in South Carolina. And Kayla and I just started meshing, met, had some great breakfast and lunch together, along with coming out into the community and bringing that awareness to the community.
Fantastic. And obviously, y'all are spearheading the drive here in South Carolina.
Yeah.
But it is a nationwide kind of disease to address. And Sarah, I want to turn things over to you, because you join us as a part of the Lupus Foundation for America. Now, this isn't just something that happens here in South Carolina. I want to talk to you about the importance of visibility in May and year-round, because it may be World Lupus Day, but it's something that affects people every 365.
Yes, thank you for having me on today and bringing awareness to lupus. I'm with the Lupus Foundation of America, and we're a nationwide organization with efforts in South Carolina as well. We do have a mission to help those impacted by lupus improve their lives. We have programs of research, education, and advocacy, and we're working all year round in these efforts to really bring about the signs and symptoms of lupus to reduce the time to diagnosis. Everything that we do is aligned with that strategic plan to reduce that time to diagnosis, because it can take on average of about 6 years for someone to be diagnosed. So that's a big part of our efforts to bring that awareness, and May is Lupus Awareness Month.
Yes. Now, can you talk to me a bit about World Lupus Day? What do you want people to really take and understand from this one day out of this month of awareness?
To share their story. If there's someone who's impacted by lupus if they have a platform of social media, if they can put on purple to start a conversation in their community or with their network to talk about lupus. I think some people will say, oh, I've heard of it, but don't really quite understand. So sharing a little bit more that would help someone better understand that it is a chronic autoimmune disease. And it can vary, you know, from person to person to give them a proper understanding that, you know, it can have some serious complications as well. And that for someone dealing with it, it's going to need support and what that support looks like. And that they have the Lupus Foundation of America for support as well.
You know, a lot of people don't know about the disease here. Anytime I talk about it, they're learning and they want to learn and they want to know everything. So, and I think that's so great.
Education is an extremely important first
really
step.
is.
It starts there. When we first met, I'll admit I was a bit in the dark, but y'all have taught me so much, and I'm sure you're teaching a bunch of people out there as well.
And speaking of teaching, we're also going to have an opportunity here now that, and thank you, Sarah, for bouncing it off with Sarah. Being for LFA, we're going to have a Lupus Foundation of America sponsored event on June 1st at Trident Technical College.
It's called Lupus and You.
Amazing. And we'll make sure to include all that information on our website at WISTV.com. Now, before we go, we do have some information about Lupus Foundation of America that we want to pull up for all of y'all to check out. You can head there for more information. Donations are always being accepted. Find fundraisers near you, and obviously we have one coming here very soon. And make sure you keep up with A Kidney for Kayla on Facebook to follow her journey in finding a living donor. I want to thank you both so much for sharing your story, for sharing your messages, and being that voice for people who may not see brighter days ahead.
And if it's okay, I mean, if anyone has like a question or needs any support, they can always message me on social media.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining me today. Sarah, thank you as well, joining us all the way from Florida. It was a pleasure to have you guys and speak with you today. But now we're going to turn things over to a look at our first alert forecast.